Why is story so powerful? And is it in fact powerful? That's my question for today. I believe that humans are value-seeking beings, and you are doing it right now. You are currently looking at your phone or looking at the screen, and you are not looking around the room at the curtains, at the wall, at the door, because those things aren't relevant. They're not valuable in this moment for what you're looking for or what you're trying to achieve or whatever storyline it is that you are following. So we are always doing this. Once you realize that you cannot look at a crowd of people without noticing one. Why do you notice that one person? Or why do you notice this group? Or why do you notice anything above anything else? Is because you are finding something relevant and something less relevant. So you are seeking value, some bit. And when you do that through time, you then get a story. This is more relevant, and then this, and why? You explain it, story. And even if you don't explain it, you are following it because it's a story. So, what does that mean? And I'm just going to pause that for a second. Every time you want to transcend, you want to become bigger and better, you need not only a story. You need characters and tension between the characters. Let's play it out. Why do we valorize, why do we elevate popular figures in the media? Because we admire them. We use them as a proxy to learn, to try to manifest some of them in our lives. I want to dance like that. I want to sing like that. I want to be funny like that. I want to hold myself like that. Whatever it is. Now, if you do some of your future authoring exercises where you try to see yourself in the future, I highly advise that. It gets bankers to save, even though bankers won't save until they do this exercise, which is mad because they're financial people. They should know, but they don't until they see themselves at the age of 60 and love that version of themselves as someone to take care for, just like they take care of their parents or their grandparents. Until they do that exercise, they don't save. So let's not get lost in that one. But having a future version of yourself, putting a face and putting a voice to it so that when you are not feeling it, when you are eating what you shouldn't be eating, when you are not sleeping when you should be sleeping, when you are not exercising or not reading or not engaging with your community and your family, all of these things, I don't know what your 60-year-old self is going to say to you. But when you are not doing those things, having a face and a voice to speak to you is good. Building a relationship so that it can speak to you is good. Now, why? Because we don't live in a logical way. Our story, our way of making sense of our story isn't logical. We don't... If you want to learn how to swim, you can only logic your way so far. Eventually you have to get into the water and use intuition and use imagination to actually learn the procedure, the perspectival and the participatory knowing. This comes down to the 4 Ps. So propositional up here, but then you have procedural, perspectival and participatory. And to get to those, you have to use imagination and intuition. Those 2 things have to be honed in. You always have them. Now you can ignore them because you can say that intuition can be tricked and imagination isn't connected to reality. And intuition can be tricked. But it doesn't mean you ignore it completely. Just because you have a friend who is silly some of the time doesn't mean that you ignore them 100% of the time. You take on their counsel and then you judge it against everyone, like with everyone else's. It's a collective sort of exercise. Same with imagination. Imagination can leave reality and go straight into fantasy, go straight into bullshit. But most of the time, imagination is trying to play out situations, play out scenarios. How would it go if I do it this way? So again, have him there, have these tension points there. So, let's go to the past before I move to the next moment, your IFS, internal family systems therapy, or your parts therapy or Jungian therapy, where if you, okay, I'll use myself as an example, introducing myself into a group. I realized a while back that I hadn't updated how I introduced myself to a group in ages. I just hadn't updated it. It might be like how maybe you haven't updated your wardrobe, your sense of style. It might be how you haven't updated your knowledge on a certain type of music, therefore it's just old. Or a certain type of literature or a certain type of movies, whatever art it captures your imagination. If you haven't updated it, then when you go back to that space, when you listen back to the music you used to listen to as a teenager, you will feel the teenager come in. And you might want to relate to that because obviously they're formative. They are the building blocks you've been built upon. So being able to relate to them and say, hey, I understand why you were so depressed listening to that music, but I no longer believe that and I don't have to believe it. Maybe. So, but also how you treat your mom, how you treat your dad. Do you give them too much power perhaps? How you engage with the people around you. Are you a pleaser? Are you a debater? All of these different things. Where did you learn them? We learned them all during childhood. So relating back, this is what IFS is. I don't need to sell you on that. I just simply mean to say that putting a face and putting a voice onto these characters is really important. Because it's only then that they can talk to you. And this is the same for any urge, any sort of desire. This is why the Roman gods broke their motivation kind of structure into all the different gods, because they wanted to relate to each one. So I am destined for more. Surely I should live in a bigger house. Surely I should make more of an impact in my community. Surely I should make, surely I'm just destined for a more exhilarating or impactful story than the one I'm living at the moment. That voice, everyone has it. Well, most people have it unless your parents have really tyrannized you or overheld you. But that calling, that's what it is. It's the calling for more. It's the call to adventure. And then you have that other voice, which is be decent, be reliable, be sustainable, be accountable. All of these things. That's your conscience. That's your inside, trying to tell you to have integrity and hold it all together. And again, putting a face and a name to that, you already have the voice to it, because we all have these voices. But fleshing out that character and relating to it gives you a story. So now you can start identifying with that relationship. And that is what I want to try and put in front of you today as pretty much the most important thing you can do at the moment. There is a reason why games, virtual games, are outcompeting reality with the next generation. It is because their actions matter. They feel as if their actions matter in that virtual world. They feel as if there's a narrative order, that there is a story going on of development with different characters. And there is a way of leveling up, of becoming better just by whatever number it is. But if you want to put that into your own world, okay, believing that your actions matter, there's a leap of faith there. That's your free will argument, and you kind of have to just act as if you have free will, even if you debate on whether or not you actually do. Narrative order, okay, well, again, have all of these characters around you, as in your own characters, your council of sages. When I did the interviews, this was the question I used to love asking. I still ask people this. Who's on your council of sages? I have Zarathustra. I have Buddha. I have Darrow, a character from like a book. There's just odd characters. And also personal ones, friends that I have that whisper on my shoulder. I've a gratitude guru that annoys me all of the time, and he knows exactly who he is. But having a narrative order. That's how you find it, having these past versions of yourself, being able to like just tapping base with them every now and then. I've always felt this way ever since I was what age? Why did I feel this way at that age? Why am I still feeling it? Can I talk to that? I've always wanted to be this big thing. When did I want to be it? Why did that dream develop? Can I talk to that? Can I talk to the dream? Okay, now we're starting to have a narrative order to our lives and also a sense of progression, because these relationships will develop and deepen. And then your leveling up is your ability to hold multiple perspectives, your ability to hold all of these ideas, all of these worldviews, and not get caught up in any single one of them, not get caught up in the moment, not be banging your head against a brick wall, be repeating patterns all the time that you know aren't good, with no attention to even trying to resolve them. That's not leveling up. Leveling up is even if you keep repeating the pattern, to just consciously keep hitting your head against the wall and figuring some way out. Eventually I will find the spark that breaks me through. Or that's what we have to, that's where it has to start. So I'm going to finish there. I'm going to put up a picture, and I want you to spend some time just seeing how many faces you can see in this picture, and then you'll find them fairly quick. Hopefully you're doing it now as I'm talking. And then try to just close your eyes, wipe it clean, look at the picture and try and see it without the faces. It's really hard to see that picture without the faces. It's maybe on a smaller screen, this might not work, but if it's on a computer screen, this will work. Or a projector is where I saw it in college. But the reason I say this to you is because this is an example of when you now move out into the world, if you have developed these characters, if you've developed these avatars of who you were, of who you want to be, of people you admire, of myths and stories that resonate with you. If you've built all of these different things, now you will go out into the world and you will see their faces. Because the human brain is designed to see faces, to identify patterns, and the pattern we recognize best and most and quickest, and it is unavoidable that we recognize this, is the pattern of a face. So give that gift to yourself. More faces, more characters, more avatars, versions of your past self, versions of your future self. Start there. People you admire in whatever sort of popular space. And then the myths and the stories that resonate with you. And start from the ground up. Talk to these avatars, see what they say back to you. Again, is it a foreign spirit speaking to you, or is it your intuition saying stuff that your logical brain just can't get there yet because it hasn't made those jumps just yet? Well, I'll leave that for your own metaphysics to kind of digest and try to dismantle. So that is me for today. I hope you have had a great week. I hope you're looking forward to the week to come, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.